Hi, I'm Maya, and I like to participate in every school event I can. You name it, and there I was. Sports festival, science fair, debate club, you get the picture. But now, I have to prove I'm more than that to get into my dream college. I have to be creative. That's a tough one for me. So I'm sitting in the classroom, looking at my college form and thinking, how do I show them I'm creative? Just then, Mr. Thompson, our school principal, knocks on the door. Maya, come to my office, please. I follow him back, and as soon as we enter, he bursts in excitement, like he's got a big idea. Maya, you're the best student we have, and I need someone I can trust. Our school's doing a play, and we are going to compete with other schools, including our arch nemesis, Oak Ridge High. His eyes narrowed. I want you to take care of the whole thing. You can pick the script, direct, run rehearsals, and yada yada. But we have to make something spectacular, he added with fire in his eyes. Wow, a play? I am floored. I've never done anything like that. It's scary, but also it's a perfect opportunity to show I can be creative. Okay, Mr. Thompson, I'll do it, I smirked. If I help with the play, can you write me a recommendation for college? He returns the smile. Of course, Maya. Show us what you can do, and I'll write you a recommendation for whatever college you want. You've got yourselves a deal. So there I was, with script in my hand, ready to lead the way. First things first, we needed a star, the face of the show, our very own Timothy Chalamet, a Liam Hemsworth, someone that can amass an army of fangirls. I set up auditions, thinking it'd be pretty straightforward. Boy, was I wrong. Imagine the craziest episodes of America's Got Talent, and you're halfway there. If you're curious about who's my school's top heartthrob, keep watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to Out of a Book. You won't want to miss how this turns out. The auditions were a disaster. One actor mixed up his lines with a Kendrick Lamar song, while a duo mistook the audition for a dance show, presenting a bizarre ballet breakdance mix. One guy thought this was a K-pop audition and tried to rizz me up. And let's not forget the girl who tried to do a dramatic monologue, but her hiccups stole the show. Every other word was interrupted by a hiccup, turning her performance into an unintentional comedy. I was not having it, and just as I was about to storm off, this guy walks in. The moment he spoke, I knew it in my bones. This is the one. I turned around, and I saw his face and squealed. That's where my Timothy was. My perfect male lead. Ethan, our new lead actor, was amazing. His performance was not only mind-blowing, but also inspired everyone in our team to do better. It was like as if he was our lucky charm. Under my guidance and his stellar performance, our team went from average at best to really amazing in a short week. We wanted to practice more often, but the auditorium was booked and busy, and an hour and a half every day was not good enough to win this competition. I was steaming, and everyone could totally feel the frustration radiating off me. This play was important for my college application. School too, but, college. So Ethan and I marched straight to Mr. Thompson's office. We need more time to practice, or this play is going to be a disaster, I said, trying to keep my cool. Mr. Thompson paced around the room. That can't do, but I have an option for you. There's an old auditorium, but it's been closed off for a while now. He shuddered and muttered under his breath. Well, there was a mishap. Never mind. Here, the keys to the auditorium, he added while handing us the keys, hesitating. Don't believe in the rumors about the haunted thing. Ethan and I exchanged glances. Ethan asked, The one that's supposed to be haunted? Well, there was just a fire incident a long time ago, but it's some silly rumors. Just focus on winning this, Maya. We headed to the old auditorium. It was really dusty, and there were some talismans stuck on the door. It did freak us out a bit, but it was also perfect for us as there were no distractions, no time limits, just us and our play. The janitor dropped cleaning supplies for our entire team and ran away from there as fast as he could. We all armed ourselves with brooms and disinfectants and got to work. Strange incidents started occurring while we were cleaning the auditorium. One time, as one of our supporting actors was up on a ladder dusting, out of nowhere, the ladder just started shaking. They managed to climb down before it toppled over, but it sure gave us all a scare. Then there was Ethan. who tried nailing a floorboard back in place. As soon as he'd get the nail in, it would pop right back out, like the floor was refusing to be fixed. But the strangest thing happened with the props. We'd set them in one place, and the next minute, they'd be somewhere else entirely. I remember putting a fake dagger on the prop table, and moments later, it was on the other side of the stage. Ethan and I would discuss about the play and the weird things while cleaning. It was like we were in our own little world. These intense discussions kind of made me notice Ethan more and more. His laugh, how passionate he's about acting, and just how honey-like his voice is. I slapped my cheeks. Wake up, Maya! We got a play to win. One day, after everyone left, Ethan just casually asked me out. I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, why not? No way I am saying no to this hottie. So after rehearsals, we started going out on dates. But we couldn't keep this up for long because even more incidents started happening in the auditorium. The first strange thing was the lights. They'd flicker on and off, randomly. One minute we're in the middle of a scene, and the next, it's lights out. Guess the ghost doesn't like our acting, Ethan joked. We could handle those, but one day one of the curtains caught fire for no reason. We managed to put it out quickly, but it left everyone terrified. Who knew our play would be this lit? I tried to lighten the mood, but instead, we heard this creepy laughter coming from the back of the auditorium. From that moment, everyone believed in the haunted rumors. We hid the spooky occurrences, afraid that Mr. Thompson might shut down our rehearsal space. But the eerie incidents began to take a toll on the other actors. They started reacting with fear to the strange happenings around them. It reached a point where I considered canceling the play to ensure everyone's safety. I was not going to risk anyone's safety for just a recommendation. I was talented enough to get it through other means. When I told Ethan about my decision to cancel the show, he stopped me. Let's not give up just yet. Maybe there's a logical explanation for all this. We should try and figure it out. He was right. So naturally, we turned into detectives. Our first stop was the old security guard, Mr. Jacobs. He's been at the school forever and knows everything about it. We found him in his little office surrounded by monitors. Mr. Jacobs, we wanted to ask you about the old auditorium? Ethan and I glanced at each other. He looked at us over his glasses and said, "That place? I'd advise you kids to just focus on your studies and leave it be." We saw some weird stuff happening, and we were a little curious, Ethan pressed. It will help us in our play. Mr. Jacobs sighed and leaned back in his chair. That auditorium's always had a bit of a reputation since the fire incident. Stay away from there. Don't take superstitions lightly. Rumors start for a reason. We thanked him and left, more determined than ever to get to the bottom of it. Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan and I started talking to professors and other students. The story we uncovered was both unexpected and deeply unsettling. Years ago, there was this talented kid named Jack. He was brilliant in theater and had put together an incredible play. Everyone was talking about how it was going to be the best show the school had ever seen. But then, something unfair happened. One of the school trustees pushed for his son to take the lead role, and just like that, Jack was kicked out of his own play. Feeling betrayed and heartbroken, Jack transferred to another school, Oak Ridge High. The play went on with the trustee's son as the lead. But on the day of the performance, disaster struck. During the show, the auditorium caught fire, where several actors and audience members got injured in the ensuing chaos. The story sent shivers down my spine. So, do you think the auditorium is haunted by someone's spirit, seeking revenge or something? I asked Ethan. Ethan shook his head. That could be an explanation, but I don't think anyone died in that fire. But no one knows for certain. Maybe it's something else. Or someone else. We learned that after the fire incident, the entire place was renovated. But even during the renovation, a few workers got injured under mysterious circumstances. That's when the school decided to close it down for good, at least until we reopened it. Ethan and I were shaken by everything we'd learned. Maybe it's best we stay away from the auditorium, Ethan suggested cautiously. I agreed. We decided to go back one last time to collect our costumes and props. But as we were gathering our things, I slipped and fell against a wall panel. To our surprise, it swung open, revealing a hidden room. Inside there was a bed, a TV, and on the floor, a circle of candles surrounding an ancient-looking board. Ouija board, I whispered. We ran out of there, deciding we had to come back the next day fully prepared to really investigate. We had to know if someone was using this secret room. The next day, Ethan and I nervously returned to the auditorium. We waited, hidden, to see if anyone would show up. After a tense hour, a figure slipped into the auditorium. He moved stealthily towards the hidden room, unaware of our watchful eyes. We heard him whispering, "Finally, they are gone! This stage is rightfully mine, and I will drive everyone away from here." We exchanged glances, then jumped out of our hiding place, confronting the figure. The shock on his face quickly turned to anger. "You shouldn't have come here," he snarled. "We know what you've been doing." "Jack," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He looked surprised, but then a bitter expression took over. "They stole my chance, my play. I just wanted them to feel a fraction of what I felt." Before we could even register, Jack flung towards us. But before he could reach us, the police grabbed him. Ethan and I were worried someone was camping in the auditorium, so we had called the police and Mr. Thompson beforehand and sent them pictures as proof. They really did come on time. Jack snarled at Mr. Thompson, but the police took him away immediately. It didn't take long for Jack to confess his crimes. He was making the place seem haunted because his pride and anger couldn't allow anyone else to take over that auditorium. Even after performing for Oak Ridge High, he could never get over how he was betrayed by this school. Then came the day of our play, Shadows of the Past. Everyone was on point. There was not a single mistake from anyone. It was like we were all touched by some kind of magic. Our play was an instant hit. We won the competition, and I saw Mr. Thompson jumping with joy. The Oak Ridge High principal threw their papers and marched out of the auditorium. The next day, Mr. Thompson asked me to come to his office. There, he handed me my letter of recommendation. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson," I said, smiling. As I was asked out of the office, I saw a picture of young Mr. Thompson as a lead actor sitting with other theater kids. The realization dawned on me, but I just grinned and walked out with my letter of recommendation in hand.